Good morning, designers. How are you? Super excited to share Ivy with you this morning. My name is Risa Eldon. We will be covering the ins and outs of Ivy. And a lot of you might not know what Ivy is. Maybe you're already using Ivy. I just want to clarify that this session is really for people that are not yet using Ivy. So if you are using Ivy and you want to stay, that's totally fine. But we do have a training webinar. So, and just to get started here a little bit briefly, Ivy is a project management tool. It's based in the cloud. You can add team members. You can access Ivy from anywhere, and it allows you to create your proposals, your purchase orders, track your time, create FF&E schedules, build out custom tear sheets, and it also integrates with QuickBooks Online. I'm curious to hear what you are using, or it's okay if you're using Excel, and I'm excited to share with you how Ivy can really change the game for you and how it can help you leverage technology to run your business in a more efficient way. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So I'm gonna toggle my video so you won't see me for a second and share my screen. So, and the great thing I have to say is that I used to manage an interior design firm here. I'm based in San Francisco, and I use Excel, QuickBooks, and Harvest. And to be honest, it became a daunting task. It wasn't my firm, but I was responsible for kind of running the firm efficiently. And I actually felt like I was doing a bad job because there was so much rework in what I was doing. I would touch an item once in Excel, and then I would have to make a proposal just for the client. Then I would have to make a whole nother proposal for the vendor. And then to pull numbers, I would have to go to QuickBooks, but things didn't really mix and match. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Without further ado, I didn't hear anybody talk or complain about time tracking, but usually when I start these kind of workshops, that's the biggest complaint I hear from designers, that designers hate tracking time. It is their biggest thing that they're bad at, so they're burning themselves on hours. So right here, we have this little time clock. And what you can do is you can actually select the project that you're working on. And then you can select the service that you're providing. You can put in different services that you have, whatever you have. I just have 4 here. And it will automatically put in the rate for like that principal designer rate if you have different rates for different services. And then you can plug in the description. And then there's 2 ways you can track your time. You can just plug in, 3 hours, and you can log the time and be done with it. Or you can go in and you can actually let the timer sync right here, and I can save this and I can time it from when the meeting starts. You can see this is going because the timer's clicking to when the timer finishes. So it's really nice because it gives you an option to track your time to the minute, and you can also mark this time not billable. Some of you who aren't on a fee-based or you're not hourly, you do a fee-based proposal, it is still, I highly recommend still tracking your time, so then at the end of a project, you just mark it unbillable. You can see how many hours you actually worked and if you burnt yourself on hours. Okay, so that's a really nice feature. And Ben, you said you were doing it badly. That's the thing that was most attractive is Ivy is the time manager. Love the time management tool. Exactly. So the idea is there's a lot of time management systems, but the idea is that Ivy incorporates it into our overall platform. And the idea of Ivy is to really centralize your workflow. So unlike what I was previously doing, where I was in Excel, I was in Harvest, and I was in QuickBooks, now you really can just be in Ivy, and you can sync up your Ivy account to QuickBooks Online if you want to continue using QuickBooks, or if your accountant wants you to continue using QuickBooks. There's different benefits of integrating. We will get to that later. I really want to focus on the ins and outs of Ivy in this workshop. Votes. Nice. Is this available on app? Ashley, I'm so glad you asked. We are the time tracking app. It's based in the cloud. And right now you would go through your mobile browser to get to it. But just here in another couple weeks, we're launching an app, and I've seen the mock-ups, and we are very excited about our app. So yes, you can do this via your phone. It's not technically an app right now, but definitely we will have that app very, very, very soon. Okay. Awesome. So once you've tracked all your time for that month, you can click over to your time billing tab. You can select the report that you, or the project that you want to grab the time billing invoice for. And if you click this little button at the top, it will grab all of the uninvoiced time. And I can just click generate invoice. Okay. And usually you'll probably have more than one time billing entry here, but this is totally fine. This is just an example that I'm showing you. And you can click save and send. And the other benefit of Ivy, and I think Ben, you'll enjoy this, is that you can also take credit card directly from this invoice from your client, okay? So you can take a credit card, which there is a 3% processing fee, or you can take bank transfer. There is a 1.2% processing fee. What most designers will do, and again, I can't advise you, I can just tell you what most people do, is they will roll that processing fee into their markup on product. So that's one option. You can also charge the client the transaction fee right here. And again, then that would have the client pay the 3% or the 1.2%. What's really nice about this is the money goes right into your bank account in about, I think it's 2 to 3 business days, sometimes even shorter. So no longer do you have this accounts receivable that is really high. Your accountant, your bookkeeper will be really proud because you just get paid really fast. We did an Ivy Academy down in Orange County, and that's what designers told me really changed the game for them, that they didn't have to go hunting around for a check. USPS, sometimes the mail, the checks get lost in the mail. They didn't have to wait for this long wire. The money just goes straight into your bank account. Okay. Great. So do you have any questions on time billing, online payments, or this online invoice? You know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you I'm doing a preview. I want to show you what it will look like and how professional it is. When your client receives this invoice, they'll get a little note that says, "Hi, Risa, here's your invoice." And it will have your logo, your branding, and you can have your own custom default memo. You can download the PDF if you need to. And your client would just click pay now, and they could pay via credit card. And then it's as easy as that. They just plug in their credit card information, click pay the amount, and the money goes right into your account. So I don't think it could be any easier for your client. Clients can do this on the go from their phone as well. All right. So now that you've seen time billing, let's go ahead and get to one of Ivy's other main features that I absolutely love. And I'm speaking in the voice of a designer because designers really love this feature as well. So I'm going to go into a project that I've already created. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions at any point, you can just chat them where you've been chatting them. And if I don't get to them right away, I will make sure that I get to them at the end of our session. All right, so right now I'm in a project. Okay, I can see a little breakdown of my financials, product revenue, labor, shipping, time billing right here. So I have an idea of where I stand with this project. I can see a breakdown of my time billing, and I can see any notifications of anything shipping for this client's project. Okay, so it's just a little dashboard. And I'm gonna go into a proposal because I wanna create a proposal for this project. And I'm gonna go into create new proposal. And just remember that today's session is really just a presentation of what you can do with Ivy. This is by no means a training session. Don't feel overwhelmed. It's a lot of newness that I'm showing you. But the great thing about Ivy, and something we just launched, is you will get a dedicated account manager with your Ivy account, and they will do a training call with you. We call it an activation call. So you don't have to memorize everything today. This is just really an overview of what you can do with Ivy. Okay, so let's go to a vendor's website, and let's say I find this amazing that I have to have. And do you see this little leaf in the corner where it says Ivy Clipper? So if you click into it right here, and you see how that hand turned blue? See, it's white, now it's blue. Okay, so I can click into the product that I want. So what the clipper allows you to do is it allows you to screen grab or clip the product directly from the vendor's website, which again is amazing because I know so many of you have, if you want to admit it or not, but you have so many screenshots on the desktop of your computer. And no longer do you have to do that, and then you have to find the screenshot and you have to label it. Ivy will just grab the information directly from the vendor's website. And you can categorize this. You can add your cost and your markup right here. So let's say I want the item to be let's say $2,800. I can set the markup and it will tell me what to mark up that item at. You can also do it the reverse, where you can just say, I have a 40% markup right there. And I don't like to say markup. I like to say purchase fee. Big difference there. And then you can, of course, select your vendor in your little vendor description right here. And you see how I have all of these vendors. What I did is I already had a list in my other system that I was using. Or if you have a list in Excel, you can just make sure that it looks like our template. We have a template that will give you. And you can import all of your vendors. So that's how I got this big, long vendor list. And here, and then you can add a description. Everybody's gotten kind of silent over here. So hopefully I'm not going too fast, or hopefully you are in awe of the amazing product clipper. I don't know which one it is, but hopefully it's the latter. My desktop is a screenshot. I'm in awe. Yes, a disaster with screenshots. So I know, and I've talked to thousands and thousands of designers at this point. I've been working with Ivy since the very beginning, so for the last 2 years. And I've seen a lot, as organized as designers like to think they are, when it comes down to like the nitty gritty and the actual admin work, that's what really boggles our minds. So I definitely understand. Yes, Megan, Julie, Sue, it's amazing. I didn't mean that you guys had to comment, but I was just saying everybody got super silent. So yeah, and then what I really love here is when I used to specify products, I didn't have anywhere to put all the vendor information. So then I would have to go back. So it was a very inefficient use of my time. And now I can just have this saved directly to the project that I'm working on. I think I was working on the Goshen project. And it will automatically save to my product library, so I can reuse that item as many times as I want. Okay, and then I can also add dimensions right here. I can add the finish. I can add the color right here. And I can also add the MSRP. I can add notes. I can add the manufacturer and the SKU. I can save the product. Okay, so I've saved the product there, and it will, as I said before, it will automatically save to my product library. Okay, and let me just refresh right here, and the item will pop up right here. Do you see that? So you don't have to go hunting for this item. This is one of my favorite features because the amount of administrative work I feel like I've done in the past before I had Ivy is really not a good use of my time. And I want my client to be paying me efficiently, and I want to be making the max amount of money. Okay. The clipper leaf works in Safari, Ben, but I highly recommend Chrome in general. Safari's very glitchy. I love Apple products, but I don't love Safari. Okay, so then here I can just clip that, and it goes right onto my proposal. Here's one that I clipped with Cravat Fabric. And then you can also see all of your products in the system right here. So these are items that I've already clipped that I might want to add. I can type in sofa right here. I can add a sofa right there. You can also add custom services right here. So maybe you have a custom freight and delivery fee. Maybe you have a general labor fee that you want to add there. And you can always add new products and add new services yourself. You don't always have to be clipping from a vendor's website. It just looks the same. And you can input your own custom picture as well. Sometimes I'll do that for like freight and delivery. I'll add like a cute image of a check. Or something cute right there, or you can even add your logo. Okay, I'm gonna save this, and I wanna show you something that's really cool here. Ivy allows you to allow your client to approve each item in the proposal by line item. So if I go to manage, I can click approve by line item, and the client would be able to approve. So you could give them option A, option B of chairs. Something else that you can do is you can, let's say that the general labor and freight is included in this one settee. Well, I can group those items together. And the grouping feature is really amazing because it allows you to have in the same proposal a viewing that the client would see and a viewing that you would see. And when you're ready to generate those purchase orders, everything will go to the right person. Okay, you can put in your own custom picture here, but now those 3 items are grouped as one line item. And you can also add attachments. So some people will use Ivy at the beginning of a proposal. They'll attach their contract right here, and they'll attach a custom line item that says estimated scope of work, $50,000 for product and $10,000 for hours, and then send the proposal and the contract through Ivy. Just so you know, they can totally do that. And again, I want to show you what this looks like on your client side so you can see the benefit of using a system like Ivy and of using photos in your proposal. So the client would get this, they can click in, they can see the items nice and big so they know what they're purchasing. Okay, they can submit approval. If you had attachments, they would be able to see them there. And you can also, with the click of a button, generate your own custom tear sheets with your logo and your branding. So that's pretty amazing because the presentation piece of this is what designers struggle with, where you have the vision in your head, but communicating that to your client in an easy way. No more cutting and pasting and making boards. Ivy just with the click of a button will generate this. Again, you can show the pricing or not show the pricing, and that pricing is the price that the client pays. Okay, how many of you, Julie, Ashley, Leslie, Sue, Megan, do you make your own custom tear sheets, or how do you make your tear sheets? Or are you using vendors' tear sheets? Because that's also what I used to be doing. And then it would be Friday morning and I would be running around like a crazy person. And, you know, it was so inefficient and the printer would break. This way you can show this presentation on your iPad. You don't even have to waste paper. You make mine on Word. Oh, Leslie, I thought you were saying Word. Like, yeah, I agree. But you're saying you use Word. So the thing about Word and Excel is that, and Adobe InDesign and Photoshop, they're amazing. But this is a manual process. And this is the part of the process where you've already done all the design work. You just need a magic click of a button and you need to make it as fast as possible, because if you start to take that much time, and yes, your designers are going to make it perfect, but the more time you spend on this, the less money you're making. I also want to note that definitely, we are working on a feature. It's not going to be a mood board. It's going to be a room board. So right here, it would say living room, and then it would show like the 6 items you have in the living room. So that's something we're working on. The great thing about Ivy is we're actually growing and scaling our team right now. And like this launch of the app and any new features that we're launching, they're happening pretty fast. We're really an adaptive software. We're listening to user feedback. So if at any time you decide to try Ivy out and you have feedback, like we're all ears. We're constantly adding features just to continue to make your life easier and easier. And that's the gloria of having a technology software, is that what you see is not what you get. We're constantly listening to you and adding new features based on what you need. Okay, and it all seems like you guys are using the same manual tools. Very interesting. Nobody's using any other software out there like Studio Webware or Design Manager or Fuego or anything like that? And if you've heard of other softwares, is there a reason that you have not used any other softwares? Studio was too hard for me. That makes sense. I have heard that. I think Studio is very robust. I definitely have tried it. I tried every single software, and I actually ended up not using a software because none of them would work for the way that my design firm, how they worked. They didn't even like Excel spreadsheets. So 100%. Then Ivy came along, and then I decided that I had struggled so much with this end of the business that I needed to work for this company and help them develop the software in the way that it needed to be developed. My clipper tool sometimes doesn't catch the image with the pointer finger. Everything else is able to be pulled. Great. Oh, John, it sounds like you're already using Ivy. That's amazing. John, let's email after the session, and I can definitely hook you up with your dedicated account manager, and they can help you troubleshoot that. No worries. It's totally fine. Like I said in the beginning of the session, if you're already using Ivy, that's totally fine. This is really just a newbie session. If you're looking for more of a training session, we actually have a new landing page with all of our training tools on there, and I can have your dedicated account manager reach out as well. I'm definitely still interested. Great. Stay for as long as you want and ask any questions. Others are expensive, not inclusive enough, too much of a time investment for not much help. I understand that, Sue, 100%. That is why with Ivy, just so you understand, oops, I just clicked on the wrong page. I want to go to our landing page so that you could see this. What you get with your Ivy membership, and don't worry, I'm not done with the overview. I'm just taking a quick break to show you this, is a lot of things, and you get, everything that we've talked about. You get the dedicated account manager, which is really exciting, and it's a lot of value. This plan that I'm showing is for up to 3 team members. We actually are going to be having special pricing through the end of the day today, which I'm very excited about. Your first year would be $549, so a savings of $200, and it does come with a 30-day full refund policy. So it's essentially a paid trial, and in that we try to give you so much value. It's not just you're paying for the platform. You get the dedicated account manager. We get back to you in 24 hours or less, business hours. So it includes that support, the training sessions. You also get access to our Facebook group, which is pretty amazing. Lots of designers sharing what works for them, what doesn't work for them, sharing contracts, sharing vendor contacts. The Facebook group in itself is what designers say they really love about Ivy. We also have educational webinars, which you can actually find those directly in your Ivy account. John, if you didn't know about this, you can access the Facebook group right here, and then you can access our industry webinars right here. Ivy is really big about education. That's one thing we're super dedicated to. So it might be something like a legal webinar that we did with a really well-renowned lawyer in the interior design space, or we just did 10 hacks to evolve your design business. We're also showing how other designers are using Ivy. So it's really amazing because you can learn so much from your peers, and interior design as an industry, I hate to say it, is a very isolating place. A lot of designers might only be working by themselves in their office, and we really believe in community over competition. So that's our goal, is to give you that education, access to your peers, really fun events, panels. So there's a lot more that comes with your membership than just the platform, but we do think that it's pretty well priced for what we offer in terms of support. How soon is tech support if you have a technical issue using the software? Is there a live chat, a person to call, or is it email only? Julie, great question. So we just we used to have live chat, but we realized, and actually saw one of our members chat this in our Facebook group this morning. She was like, I was worried, that with a dedicated account manager, the person wasn't going to get back to me so fast. But now, so it's email. You can call them on their direct line. You'll have a dedicated account manager, and we respond within 24 business hours. So it's pretty quick and pretty fast. You can always email our support. Somebody will jump in to help you. We're also growing our support team, which I'm really excited about. And it's just so nice because this is something that we wanted for a long time, and no longer is our team up till 2 o'clock in the morning, because again, we're always trying to answer designers' questions as fast as possible, but you will have your dedicated account manager. You can even schedule your dedicated account manager with a view of their calendar, schedule a call, which is amazing for me. Yes, John, yes, yay. I have to tell our co-founder that. She'll be so excited. So that, again, is a new feature. You can just see their calendar. You can plug in time. We also have a QuickBooks expert now, and this is something I was going to get to at the end of our session, but if you do want to integrate your Ivy account with your QuickBooks account, you by no means have to do it right when you start Ivy. You can just learn Ivy, and you can integrate QuickBooks later down the line, but you can pay a little bit extra for QuickBooks support if you want to. I think it's like an extra $29 a month, and you can have access to our dedicated QuickBooks person, which is exciting. Our team works East Coast hours. She's amazing. She is very helpful, and we highly recommend using QuickBooks Online. Thank you for reminding me, Leslie. Lots of information in today's session. We have recently built a partnership with QuickBooks. We recommend the Plus version because that will allow your POs to sync over. Remember, it's a one-way sync from Ivy to QuickBooks. And if you sign up to QuickBooks Online and you've never used QuickBooks Online, you will actually get 30% off for life, which is amazing. And we're really excited about that partnership that we built with QuickBooks. And if you're going from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online, there's also a person on the QuickBooks side of things that will help you make that transition. So again, we're really trying to give you the support. We're partnering with vendors that we know you need access to. And let me finish going through this walkthrough because I've only gotten to the point of showing you this proposal. I want to show you the flow, and then we'll talk a little bit more at the end of our session. Okay, and normally I only take 30 minutes, so I apologize for running a little bit over today. So you have your proposal, you sent it out, your clients paid it. You can turn the proposal into an invoice. I'm just going to skip right over and show you that how it syncs over to a purchase order. And you have the PO right here. This is the biggest thing, and why I love Ivy the most is because I would have to manually email each vendor, each purchase order, and who in their right mind has time for that? So it already has all of your vendor information in the system. So I can actually just have this purchase order and I can send it directly to my vendor through Ivy. It's amazing. Vendors love it because they don't want to get 500 emails from you, trust me. You can also add any attachments here, a sketch or a drawing. Okay, and you can also plug in the estimated ship date. Okay, so once you plug in that estimated ship date, it will fall onto your project management calendar. So you can see your to-do list items. You can see everything that you need to get done. Once you finish it, it will turn colors for you right there. This calendar will integrate with the calendar on your iPhone. Remember, it's a one-way sync. So it goes from Ivy. You have to enter it in Ivy for it to show up on your iPhone. Okay? And then from here, I can go ahead and I want to show you our project tracker, which I'm really excited about. So I used to manually create this on Excel, and I'm sure you have done this too. And I usually will filter to products that have been approved. And you can see right here in this account, I actually use this to make paint schedules too. I just clipped that right from Benjamin Moore's website. Pretty amazing. And that's what's so great about Ivy is that you can use it for things that you didn't even think of using. It doesn't have to be just for furniture that you're specifying. It can really be for anything and everything. And don't worry, you still have your Excel. You can download this right to Excel. You can also download an FF&E schedule, which is really nice because this you might want to send to your receiver or you have an install. Let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so you can see all the specifications right here with the dates, and you have your dimensions, and it looks really pretty. And of course, you can go and you can print this out as well right there. Okay, and it's in a good printing form for you. If you want to take it to Excel and you want to further customize it, you can do that as well. Again, by far my favorite feature. I feel like I keep saying things are my favorite, but this is what I struggled with the most in having different Google Docs. Can you select other currencies other than dollars? Is there a conversion option if you input the exchange rate? At this time, there's no conversion option. Ivy, we do have firms using Ivy in Canada and Australia and even London, but I've told them numerous times that, you know, this is only in the US dollar. What they do is they take this and then they'll like edit it somewhere outside, like in a PDF or something like that, because they're so desperate for software. That's what they're willing to do. But at this time, it's just in dollars. In the note section, you can say, this is the exchange rate. So you could leave the dollars empty and you could put the price in the note section if you wanted to do that. How can you edit when you entered an item into the project tracker? Great question. It sounds like, Barbara, you might be a user, and just for time's sake, because I really am running out of time here, any technical questions about software, if you are already a user, I will make sure that your dedicated account manager reaches out and I will make sure that you have my information. Okay. Other things that you can do within Ivy, you can track all of your credits and retainers. Again, you don't have to do this in a separate Excel. And you can apply that retainer balance to an invoice. If you have a credit, you can apply it to an invoice. You can also take deposits within Ivy. So that all on that invoice or proposal, that's all really nice. It's one place to be managing all of that. Like I said, you can import your existing clients and your existing vendors. Again, best part about uploading all your vendors is that you can also upload all of your usernames and passwords, and you can add vendor tags right here so that you can easily find that vendor. If you can't remember their name, you can just type in painter and the painter will pop up there, right there, okay? Once you save a product to your Ivy library, as I said before, it saves with the vendor all of the information so you can access it whenever. That item that I saved, it will allow me to just link back to that vendor's website as well, which is pretty amazing. You don't have to go hunting for that link. We have one of our designers that will save random things she sees all the time. So then when she goes to source, she literally has everything in her Ivy library, and it makes her sourcing really, really easy. And she saves it with like a blanket chair, and so she can find those items. Okay. Within Ivy, you can pull reports, high-level reports for transactions, project payments, purchase orders, time billing, sales tax liability. You can decipher if you want all projects, status, and if you what type of invoices you want to pull. They just generate into an Excel spreadsheet for you. And then, as I mentioned before, setting up your Ivy account, pretty straightforward. We try to make it easy for you. You'll put in your logo, you'll put in your company information. This is where you can add your payment information if you want to receive digital payments, okay? And then this is where you can add the team and your rates. And you can also allow different team members, you can set the user permissions. The basic plan that I showed you pricing for, the $69 a month or the $749 a year, those two different pricing plans come with up to 3 team members. Okay, and you can set the permissions here, and then you can set up your sales tax for your different projects. And the last thing I want to touch upon is the QuickBooks integration. Again, it's a one-way sync from Ivy to QuickBooks Online, and this just goes through, and then it will show you how to connect your QuickBooks. The one thing here, you just want to make sure the chart of accounts is set up correctly, and yes, we can help you with that and show you how to do all of that as well. The benefit of syncing up with QuickBooks is you get a detailed profit and loss report, which is really nice. And definitely you don't have to sync up with QuickBooks right away, but if you are running a pretty high transaction business, I would recommend integrating with QuickBooks. And the last feature I'm going to show you today is our curated network of service providers. So if you're looking for a photographer, or you're looking for a contractor, or you're looking for somebody to help you with 3D renderings, these are all vetted through the Ivy platform, which is pretty amazing. Like over here, Vita offers drawings if you don't have time to do drawings and you want to outsource that. All of these guys are really amazing. Tammy offers SketchUp classes, so that's pretty amazing. If you need some extra Ivy training outside of what we offer, you can hire somebody like Business Moxie or Behind Design. So really amazing. You don't have to go to Yelp. These are all, and you can always recommend a pro if you have one. I'm just trying to help you have more help and be able to make more money. So that is our curated network of service providers. Is House going to have any integration for Discover tab in the future? Great question. I'm not sure on that, John, but we definitely are working on different things. We also have access to purchasing agents right here. So if you want to get something at a lower price, you can work through a purchasing agent. Maybe you don't have stock dealer pricing, but maybe Mary does. So really, we're just trying to offer you as many benefits as possible. And definitely, if you have any suggestions, you can always reach out to us. I'm going to leave the next 3 to 4 minutes for Q&A. I did see one question in the main group that said, is there a fee to use the system or template? And that came from Amy. Yes, I will go over pricing one more time. This is the basic training. It comes with free email, phone support. Both plans are an annual contract and come with up to 3 team members. Can we order samples from vendors through Ivy? So great. You're kind of asking, I think, for an RFQ. That is a feature that we're working on. You would really be using Ivy, the PO feature, to communicate with vendors. So until we have that, I don't think you would really want to send a whole PO. You can, and at the bottom in the memo, you can say, can you please send samples if you're that far along? But we're definitely working on the RFQ feature. Thank you so much for letting me sit on your session. You rocked it. Have a fabulous day. You're so sweet. Thanks so much, John. Leslie, do you have reports? Great question. So yes, we did cover this. I covered it really quickly. Really basic reports here: transactions, project payments, purchase orders. But I say basic, but this is probably more than you have in your Excel template. So it's definitely helpful. I just mean basic in terms of like a profit and loss report, which is what you would pull from QuickBooks Online. Okay. Yes. Great. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. And I really appreciate you all joining us this morning. Really want to help you propel your business forward and make more money. At Ivy, we're more than happy to have any and every conversation. So definitely feel free to contact us. And all right. Thanks so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.